My friends, today we are diving into Bryson DeChambeau's 58, the Ryder Cup, and Golf Channel. What's going on? These guys are, I think they've lost their mind. But before we jump into all that, thanks so much for tuning in. Make sure, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any of these podcasts that come out weekly and during the week occasionally, depending on what kind of news is dropping in the golf community. It's an exciting time, that's for sure. And in the links in the video description below, you can find your code to 7 Diamonds if you need any golf gear. Link below for them. Awesome, amazing apparel that you cannot go wrong with for you or your loved one. Men's, women's, all kinds of great stuff. Link below for them. Also, we have a cool event coming up this October, November at Pine Needles, Southern Pines, Mid Pines, 4 rounds of golf, 2 short game clinics. Grab a buddy, come on out. It's going to be an epic time. Space is limited and we're running out. So be sure there's a link below. Check that out. And I'm telling you, it's going to be worth it. We're going to have a great time all together. So can't wait for that. All righty. Let's jump in. First and foremost, tip of the cap, leading off, Bryson DeChambeau drops a 58 at the LIV event at the Greenbrier, playing the old white course. I recently was out there a couple months ago, did a number of videos, and that old white course is spectacular. I loved every second being out there. Iconic, former host to numerous PGA Tour events, and now LIV events. Par 70, 7,200 yards, Bryson DeChambeau drops a 58. With a bogey, I might add. He bogeyed the 8th hole and then just lights it up, shoots a 28 on the front, 30 on the back, 58. He's got a putt. He has to par the 18th par 3 for a 59 and drops like a 30-footer for the 58. Okay. If this happened on the PGA Tour, coverage, the entire Golf Channel would have spent the entire hour covering Bryson's 58. I guarantee you, if this was Rory McIlroy or Justin Thomas or anybody playing the Wyndham Championship, if they had shot a 58, first of all, if Justin Thomas had done this to then qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs, Golf Channel would have spent the entire hour covering it. Brandel Chambly would have called in. He would have came in. He would have been part of it via Skype, whatever it was. Brandel Chambly would have been a part of it. But because it was on LIV and because it was Bryson, I timed it. They spent 2 minutes and 3 seconds covering this at the end, near the end of the broadcast. They covered the entire Wyndham Championship, all the FedEx Cup stuff going on, rightly so, right? A lot of going on. And then they covered Justin Thomas for 10 minutes of straight coverage of his round. And they spent more time showing his chip shot over and over and over and over again on the 18th hole than they did on Bryson's historic 58. That to me is absolutely ridiculous. Bryson shoots the lowest round in that high a level. He ties Jim Furyk, who did it with the 58. But Bryson does it in the final round to win the championship on, the final day. And they spent 2 minutes and 3 seconds covering this. And to me, that's malpractice. If you're a Golf Channel and you don't spend an extensive amount of time covering this, it's malpractice as a company. The only reason they did anything with LIV was because of Bryson's 58, and they spent 2 minutes and 3 seconds on it. ridiculous. They obviously are a biased golf community that only supports PGA Tour sanctioned events or things that don't compete with the PGA Tour in their interests. Look, I'm just going to call a spade because that's what it is. I don't necessarily have a dog in this fight. I like the PGA Tour, love the PGA Tour, love what they've done, love the playoffs, love the tour events, love everything about, not everything, but most everything about the PGA Tour. I love the PGA Tour. Been a fan for my whole golf career, I've been a fan of the PGA Tour. I also am a fan of Live Golf. I do like it. It's different, it's new, it's fresh, and it's a change. And I do like that. I'm not pro one over the other. I like them both. And I love seeing great players play great golf. And what I love about what Live is I know who's playing in every tournament. I know who I'm going to get to watch. I'm going to get to watch my favorite players or players that I've gotten to see for many years thanks to the PGA Tour. Yes. So, yes, they have a hand at that. And I've gotten to know these players and enjoy watching them. So, I know what I'm in for week in and week out when they have an event. So, that's something I love. And so, when Bryson drops at 58, it's exciting. And it should be covered by all golf outlets. And unfortunately, Golf Channel just didn't do that. To me, they dropped the ball. I think, you see Brandel tweeting stuff, but it has nothing to do with Bryson. It has everything to do with how evil Liv is. Okay, that's your opinion. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. It's kind of, a little like hypocritical because there's plenty of companies that support PGA Tour events that are not the greatest organizations in the world either. So it's difficult. And I get it. If you want to pick a side, that's fine. I don't have a problem. But if you're going to beat one side up, don't hold a player necessarily accountable because they play in that organization under that structure. That's their choice. But show and appreciate great golf when it comes around. And that 58 was spectacular. It was monumental. It was a pivotal moment, not only in Live Golf, but all of golf, because it did some really, it elevates golf and makes it more exciting. And Bryson, he does a lot of YouTube stuff as well. So again, it helps grow the game in communities in areas that are not going to necessarily watch a PGA or even a Live event. But because of Bryson being a YouTuber also, he is going to help elevate that. So I was a bit shocked that they not only barely covered it, but spent so much time covering Justin Thomas's final round. And I like Justin Thomas. I don't have anything against him, but he had a horrible year. It was a bad year. But they spent all the time on him not making it and this one chip shot. Like, let's look at the missed cuts at the Open Championship and all the poor play throughout the year. He had plenty of shots he could have improved on that would have easily got him into the FedEx Cup playoffs. But no, it all boils down to this final event, and he does not make it. And he's rolling around on the ground. It's a little dramatic for me. Like, you had a whole year to do that and put forth your best effort, and you came up short. Okay, that's going to happen. You had a lot of just personal stuff going on in your life that will affect your game. And that's going to happen. So don't worry about it. Just brush it off. You're going to go through a little bit of what Ricky Fowler went through when he got married and had a child. And you're doing many of the same things. So you're going to go through a transition. No doubt in my mind, you're going to come back. You'll probably win major championships again. So I'm not worried about it so much. You made $3.2 million this year. You finished 71st on the money list. Great season. You made a lot of money. It wasn't what you wanted, but we don't need to cover it so much, even more so. We didn't cover Ben Griffin, who made the FedEx Cup playoffs. You guys don't even know who he is. Like J.J. Spawn, he made it. He had about the same year as Justin Thomas, just slightly better. Matthew Neesmith, he also made the FedEx Cup playoffs, but we don't cover that guy. But Adam Scott doesn't make it. He finished like 72nd, so he's out as well. We showed a little bit of that. Davis Thompson, he didn't make it. We don't even know who he is, right? Like, nothing personal, but there's a lot of guys that make it that you don't cover, and a lot of guys that don't make it that you still don't cover. And they had the equivalent year, but we showed Justin Thomas because he's a major champion. He's won a number of PGA Tour events, and he's a little more of a popular, let's say, player. So we show him, but he doesn't make it. So it's just sad because if Bryson was on the PGA Tour and he was in that same position as Justin Thomas, we would probably be seeing a lot of Bryson not make the FedEx Cup playoffs as well. But because he's on LIV, we, meaning the Golf Channel, brush him off and don't show him at all. Like, why does Golf Channel only show a few shots of Bryson DeChambeau? Like the putt on his 18th hole. That's kind of it. And a couple other swings. Like, they didn't show anything. But we watch Justin and these other guys like every minute of every shot of the round. And Justin even was talking about how he got robbed on the 16th hole because the wind blew and his 9-iron didn't go where it was supposed to go. He even said, I got screwed. You didn't get screwed, okay? You had a whole year, and it boils down to one wind gust on the 16th hole that messed your 9-iron up and pushed you out of the FedEx Cup playoffs? I don't think so. I think it was a year of poor play, all right? It wasn't one wind gust. Give me a break, right? You did not get screwed. You had stuff going on in your life that affected your game. That's normal. That's fine. Just say, look, I had a bad year. Like, golf-wise, it wasn't great. Personally, it was fantastic. That's going to happen. Just say that. Don't say, I got screwed by a wind gust. No, you didn't. The whole year was a wind gust. And for the most part, personally, it was good. But professionally, not as good. That's fine. But I don't like it when they interview somebody and they come up with like, the wind knocked me out. Knocked my ball down. Oh, it's too bad. No, it's life. Life happens, and that's good. And whatever, it affects you personally or professionally, just a touch. You'll be all right. But what Golf Channel did, in my opinion, is not all right. That's bad. Now, what about the Ryder Cup? Okay, Justin Thomas, does he make the Ryder Cup team? I would say no, obviously. I mean, he is had such a bad season. I don't think I'd want him on the Ryder Cup team. But who are the Americans on the Ryder Cup team? Currently, we got Scotty Scheffler, like sitting in first place. Then we got Wyndham Clark. Then we got Brian Harman in third. Brooks Koepka is currently in fourth. Like, that dude's going to make the team. And he's not even on the PGA. But currently, he has enough points. You know, he won a major, and he still has points from pre-live. So he's up there. So he's currently automatically qualified. He has the point. Then we have Xander Schauffele and Patrick Cantlay. Those are your 6. And then the U.S. team gets 6 other picks. And currently, from 6th to 12th place, we have, or 7th to 12th, we have Max Homa, Cam Young, Jordan Spieth, Keegan Bradley, Colin Morikawa, and Ricky Fowler. And I would definitely keep all those guys. Justin Thomas is sitting in 14th. Whose spot would he take? He's not going to earn more points because he's not in the FedEx Cup playoffs. So he's out. I'm sorry, Justin's out. You might make him like a assistant captain. I wouldn't mind having him there in the locker room, but I certainly wouldn't have him playing. He's not playing great, but I'd have him around. I would if I'm the captain, and I would go with those 12 guys right on that list. But I might bump out. If you're going to bump out some of the 6 guys, like, who would you kick out? I might bump out. It'd be tough. if I'm the captain, I'm probably not bumping out guys, but there is a case for to be argued that Taylor Gooch should make the team, and Bryson DeChambeau should make the team. And I don't disagree with that. I would say Bryson would be, in my opinion, ahead of Taylor Gooch to make the team. But which guy on the PGA Tour do you kick out of their spot from 7 to 12? Max Homa, popular guy. I'm going to keep him. Cam Young, probably keep him too. He's playing great. Jordan Spieth, I'm not going to not pick Jordan. Popular player, I'm going to keep him. Now, I'm going to keep Ricky Fowler too because he's a winner, recent winner, and a popular player. I'm going to want him. So that leaves us with Colin Morikawa and Keegan Bradley. And I would seriously do some soul searching. I would seriously consider Bryson for one of those guys. Which guy, what would you do for the American team? I guess I would go, it'd be tough. You're going to get a lot of kind of hate if you pick Bryson, but you're going to get a lot of hate if you don't. I would probably go Bryson over, Keegan's a fighter. I'd want Keegan. I'd probably bump Colin, unfortunately, and go with Bryson. That's what I would do. I would just talk to Colin and say, hey, dude, I'm going with Bryson. That's me. That's a decision I would make. Now, the European, they don't have it so easy because if you look at LIV, what's the highest, do you know, like off the top of your head, the highest ranking LIV player who you could pick for the European Tour Ryder Cup team? Any suggestions? Because if you go down the list, like Mito Pereira, well, he's not from anywhere from the UK, right? Where is he from? He's from Chile, so it's not him. Then you keep going down at Brendan Grace, South African, so no. Sebastian Munoz, no. What is he? He's a Colombian, so no. So you got to keep going down. Carlos Ortiz, he's from Mexico. Dean, South African. The next one, 16th. The 16th player on the LIV rankings is Sergio Garcia. So do you pick Sergio for the European Tour Ryder Cup team? And they have a little bit different qualification because they get 3 that qualify and then the next 3 on the world rankings. So I don't think Sergio's not going to be up there because he hasn't been getting world ranking points. And then you go 6 captains picks. And right now you have Rory, John Rahm, Robert McIntyre, and so you don't have anybody I don't think Sergio's going to take anybody's spot just looking at the top 12 in the Ryder Cup standing points for the European squad. But I would probably invite Sergio to be an assistant captain. That's what I would do. But so the Ryder Cup situation it doesn't look good for the European squad, to be honest with you. It doesn't look like they're going to have a very strong team anyways. And you're just not going to have LIV players that you're probably going to pick because, who's next after that? I mean, you got to go way down the list before you get to Henrik Stenson. So it's just not going to be like, it doesn't look like a strong European team. But then again, what do you do? What do you do if you're a European squad? But then as a Ryder Cup captain for the American squad, Zach Johnson, do you mess with the LIV PGA Tour combination and mess up your, let's say, dynamic of your squad by bringing in Bryson DeChambeau? Or do you just say, okay, we'll keep Brooks because he's going to qualify anyways, and then do we just leave it at that? Or do we have one other LIV guy so Brooks maybe feels a little more comfortable? But then again, Brooks and all those people, they practice together down in Florida. He practices with all the PGA guys, so they're friends. So it's not going to be a huge problem. Is Bryson going to be, let's say, a disruptor in that team locker room? Would be kind of I'd talk to the other players and see what they wanted. If they don't want Bryson, then Bryson would be out. And then I just ask them, like Bryson or Taylor Gooch, like any of those guys, do you want them or not want them? At least for the I'd ask 10 guys that question if I'm the U.S. Ryder Cup captain. That's what I would do. Either way, it's going to be an exciting Ryder Cup team, and I'm looking forward to it. And I think I would still go with Bryson just because of what he did. Because of his 58, I think he deserves to be on the team. You let me know what you think, because it's an exciting time in golf. It's going to be an exciting Ryder Cup. The playoffs, the FedEx Cup playoffs, I absolutely love those. And the next few events are going to be exciting because there's something on the line. And that's what golf needs. And then wrapping up the 2023 season, going into 2024 season, it's going to be different. And so we got a whole new kind of structure to look forward to wrestle with, to deal with. And that's going to be exciting too. But let me know what you think about Golf Channel really just hosing Bryson and the whole LIV organization by just not covering his historic 58. On the final round of the Greenbrier LIV Championship, that was spectacular. And if you've never seen the Greenbrier, make sure you click on my main channel, the Greenbrier. I did a full private tour VIP show of not only the courses all the courses that they have, but also inside the hotel and all the cool things they have there. It's an amazing spot. So really had a great time while we were there. Thanks for listening. Good luck out there, and go give Golf Channel a hard time about not covering what they should have covered. They deserve it. Take care.